Hello guys, we're going to be looking at equivalent fractions again today, okay? You did very well at simplifying fractions yesterday. And remember, simplifying is where you're trying to make the fractions as small as possible, okay? And what I mean by that is you're trying to use the lowest numbers possible, okay? So you're not trying to do the smallest fractions, you're trying to make the numbers as low as possible, okay? So today we're going to be looking at equivalent fractions. Now, equivalent fractions are fractions which are the same, they're worth the same, okay? Now, when we've done this before, we've made the fractions bigger. So whatever we've times the denominator by, we've had to times the numerator by. And whatever we've had to times the numerator by, we've had to times the denominator by. Okay? But today it's going to be a little bit different because instead you might have to divide. Okay? And I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. Okay? And we'll have a look at some, and then you're going to have a go at some. Okay? So I'm just going to show you my screen now. So you should be able to see my screen. Now, if we were looking to find the equivalent fractions here, so fractions which are worth the same, okay, so 2/3 equals 6 something, okay? Well, I know to get from 2 to 6, I've had to times by 3, okay? Which means for the denominator, I also need to times by 3, okay? And I know that 3 times 3 equals 9. Okay, and it's the same for this one. The only difference is we've been given the denominator, okay? Now to times the denominator from 4 to 8, I've had to times by 2, okay? 4 times 2 is 8. So I know I need to do the same for the numerator. 3 times 2 equals 6, okay? And 3/4 are the same as 6/8, okay? And we know this is possible because they're all in the same times tables. 3 and 6 are in the 3s, 4 and 8 are in the 4s, okay? So that's how we know there could be equivalent fractions. Now, today's fractions are a little bit different because actually, instead of getting bigger, some of them will be getting smaller, okay? Now, that means it's the opposite. And the opposite of multiplication is division, okay? They are the inverse of each other. So, the process is exactly the same. Whatever I have done to the numerator, I have to do to the denominator. So, 12 divided by something equals 4, okay? Well, let's check. 4, 8, 12, okay? That's 3 groups, so 12 divided by 3 equals 4, okay? And if I've done 12 divided by 3 in the numerator, then I need to do the same with the denominator. So I need to do 15 divided by 3, okay? Let's try it. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So there's 5 groups there. Whoop, not 15, there's 5 groups there. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, so I know that 12/15 are the same as 4/5. Now, this next one's exactly the same. Okay, the only difference is I've been given the denominator. Okay, now 10 divided by something equals 5, and 10 divided by 2 equals 5. Okay, so if I've divided the denominator by 2, I need to divide the numerator by 2. Okay, 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, 8/10 the same as 4/5. And that's the only difference today. Okay, instead of timesing, you could be timesing or dividing, and it depends. Okay, if the fraction that you are finding the equivalent for has got bigger, then you're going to be timesing. But if it's got smaller, then you're going to be dividing. Okay, and there's just a couple more here for us to look at. Okay, you'll notice here now on this top one, you're given the fraction on the right. Okay, but that doesn't change. The process stays exactly the same. Now, to get from 8 to 4, I know I need to divide by 2, okay? Because 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So, if that's what I've done to the numerator, then I have to do the exact same to the denominator. It's exactly the same. And 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Okay? Now this one, it's getting bigger again, isn't it? Okay? So I know 3 times 3 equals 9, okay? And that's what I've had to do to the numerator, so I need to do the same to the denominator. 6 times 3, okay, is 18. So that's what you're going to be doing today. You're going to be finding some more equivalent fractions, which are fractions that are the same. But if they are getting bigger, if the fraction is using bigger numbers, then you need to times. But if the fraction you're trying to find is using smaller numbers, then you need to divide. And just remember, whatever you're doing to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator, and vice versa. Whatever you're doing to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. Okay? I look forward to marking your work. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.